Hi guys, Evelyn here, back to you with another video, and today I'm going to discuss my first relay race. Earlier this morning I took part in the Dunstable Road Runners 5k trail relay race. It was all a group of 3 people, and my team was with my fellow Stopsy Striders. Kat, she ran the first leg, I came in the second leg, and Lou came in on the third leg of our team. So it's actually held near Dunstable Downs. If you're ever in this area, Dunstable or Luton area, please do make a visit to Dunstable Downs, especially if the weather is like this. It's gorgeous, sunny, it's rolling hills. You're actually up on the top of the hill and you look across Bedfordshire. They have a gliding club as well, so you can see the gliders taking off and landing and coming past as well. It's a lovely place to walk. If you like hilly runs, it's a lovely place to run as well. But it's just beautiful. They have a visitor centre there too. They have a shop as well, so you can have teas and coffees and stuff. A lot of people go there when it's good weather to have picnics, but it's beautiful. People don't realise how beautiful this area is when they hear Luton or Dunstable. They don't have very good words to say about it, but it's actually a lovely place to live. There's greenery, landscape, beautiful trails, both in Dunstable and Luton, so do come and check it out if you can. And anyway, so the race was actually held across the way a little bit, around the Kensworth Quarry. So you're basically running a 5k loop, but it's actually just a little bit over 5k loop around. So we each took a loop each. So it started off at 9 o'clock this morning. So everybody starts together like a normal race. The gun went off at 9 o'clock and then everybody went off, obviously, and then it was good that you could chat with your other fellow members. You gauged how long each person was going to take. So Kat runs a similar pace than me, but she's definitely faster than me, but we're about the same, and so I expected her to take about 28 to 30 minutes because it's definitely a hilly course, and she did really well. She came in at 31 minutes, but while we're waiting, chatting, I was really nervous. I don't know why. I was so nervous. I'm not really keen on trail running, and even it's been really dry recently. It's been really hot, and so I didn't think that it would be muddy, especially with the dryness. And I spoke to somebody who had done it last year and asked if we should run with trail shoes, and she also thought the same. It would be dry, I don't need it, but she actually doesn't run with trail shoes at all, so probably not a good gauge to take from, but I was really there without my trail shoes. But anyway, so we were chatting about that, waiting, getting nervous, and then the good thing they had is that they'd have somebody just after the last K to let you know who's coming in, so you could all get ready in your pens. There wasn't any baton or wristband or anything to hand over, but when your runner comes in, you just make sure you tag. You have to run the box near the pen before you can finish to complete the lap. So Kat was called, the number was called, so it was my number up, so 2:40, get ready. And there's about three of us at the same time getting ready to go, and then Kat just sped through. It was amazing. Anyway, so we did our tag and then I ran off. So I took it easy because I didn't warm up, which I realise now that I should warm up before I run a race. I always thought warming up before a race would take the energy away for the race itself, but I'm starting to realise that it really helps, and I didn't warm up. So from now on, I'm going to make sure I warm up, something I learned today. The first stage of the race was through a single track with trees on each side, and generally it's grassy the whole way through. There was a single line, as you can see, that runners have run past, and the mud underlying was quite caked dry, so it was quite hard underfoot, but a lot of holes on the way which they had really well marked out so you could see them, so you didn't step on them. But the first, say, K was like that really. So it was single file, and there was 3 of us running similar place, different running clubs. Sorry for the sun. I'm sitting right in front of the window and the sun is about to set and it's going past. There's some grey clouds coming through, so it's going to brighten up and darken while we talk. But anyway, so the first K was not too bad. I probably could have pushed it a bit more, but as I said, I hadn't warmed up very well, so I was sort of taking it easy the first 1K, and it's fairly flat too. so I should definitely have gone a bit harder the first K. And that was basically the way it was all the way through. It sort of opened out a little bit on the second K, but it's still very grassy, quite long grass to run through, and the holes as well. No real tree roots or anything at this stage, no muddy patches. So I was thinking, yeah, this is good, this is good. And about 2.5 K, we had steps, and it was like a incline step like this, and the tread, well, is it tread? The gap between one step and the other, so that the riser was very high for short legs that I have. Luckily it had a railing, so I could hold on to that. And then each of the steps were actually quite muddy, and it was actually slippery mud as well, so you definitely needed to hold on. But it's like, really, does it have to be this steep? But probably steps were wise at that point, because if it was there's no steps, it would have been like mountain climbing to get up to the hill, because just after the top of the stairs or steps, there was quite a steep incline. Not as steep as the steps, but it was very steep, so I couldn't carry on running at that point, and climbing up the steps took a little bit out of me as well. So I walked that bit until it got to a flattened bit, and then after that I carried on. I was sort of keeping ahead of 2 ladies and 1 guy, but when we got to the hill bit, the guy was good on the hill, so he just stormed through, and I couldn't catch up with him after that. I got lapped by another fast runner, and I think he was in the winning team, and the winning team did the whole thing in 59 minutes, so I was never gonna be in that stage. Yeah, so after that hilly portion, generally the rest were rolling hills, steeper than, I don't know if I've talked about the Luton Park Run hill. Everybody calls it slope, but it's definitely hill, especially after the second time round. You have to do it 4 times. But so the rest of them were fairly hilly hills, and only slight inclines, so you couldn't really make up the time going down. It was a bit more open, but it was the muddy stage, so there was about 3 huge puddles, but luckily it was on the side of the track, so this had opened out, the track had opened out, so it's like tractors have, drove through them. But on the right hand side, it was like huge puddles. I called one of the Vicar of Dibley puddles. Don't know if you've seen an episode of Vicar of Dibley. It's not a show that's on anymore, but it has Dawn French. She was a vicar, and she was going for a country walk, and she decided to jump into a puddle for fun. And then when she jumped in, she went to waist level. So it's basically deeper than it looked. So anytime I see a big puddle, I call it Vicar of Dibley puddle. And then after that, so I thought if this is the extent of the muddy or the water puddles, then it should be fine, because there was a track on the left that you didn't even have to touch the puddles through. So it's about 2 of those. And then after the 4th K, I think, there was another big muddy puddle, and you had to walk around the edge. So it was actually across the whole path, but the edges were just about walkable, but the tree or the bushes were in the way, so you had to really like walk into the bushes before you could go past. And then so that happened a couple of times, and then there was one last muddy puddle that you couldn't really walk around at all, so you had to go through. So my shoes were muddy. I thought before that stage, probably up to 3.5 K, that trail shoes were not required, but at this point it was required, I would have thought. But mine aren't that good anyway, so don't know how it would have helped, but I think it was probably needed. And I think next year, if I do decide to do this race again, I will wear trail shoes, because it's only 5K. I don't like wearing my trail shoes for long distances. They're not comfortable, but 5K should be fine. It was really, really hot. The first half was basically under a little bit of cover, so it was not too bad. But the middle portion, before you got up to the muddy puddles, was out in the open. You were basically running alongside the quarry edge. There was a fencing, so you couldn't fall in or anything, but you're along the quarry edge, so good views. It was lovely and scenic. It was good fun after the fact, but doing those I hate hills. I hate hills. I do them better now, but I just don't enjoy them at all. So after that last muddy puddle, there wasn't any real mud left, but just before the last portion of the race, before the finish, was a steep hill, and I thought, I'm not walking this hill, I'm gonna steam up it, because we're right at the end here, don't want anybody to take over me, so I'm gonna keep going and keep going. So I just muddled through it. I went quite slowly, but I ran all the way up it and saw two familiar people, because I don't really know all the Dunstable runners, road runners, but there's a couple I did, and they had sweets as well. I didn't take any though, but they had sweets, so it's good to see them at the end. I was wondering where they were because I didn't see them the whole time until then, and it's obvious why. And then you come through, and it's good actually being second or third leg because more people have finished at this point, so everybody's clapping you in, so that's so cool. So it's good fun to like race through and get to Lou for the finish, or for the last leg to go. Yes, that was my lap. So it was, I don't think I would have been able to do 2 laps, and some people had to because other people couldn't make the race, so some people stood in for them, and I don't think I could handle that. It's quite hard to do that twice, even though it was only 5k. But looking back on it, I probably did enjoy it, but probably not at the time. It was good camaraderie. It was a nice little local small race, so it was fun, and it had prizes for the winners of the mixed team, ladies or gents. So there's 3 prizes for each, so we didn't win any of them. I ended up, my normal 5k, say parkrun time is 27.5 minutes, and because of the heat and the hills, I did it in 34 minutes and 12. The official times haven't come in yet because it was a local race. There wasn't any chip times or anything, so it was manual timed, a little bit like parkrun. However, we did get a medal, so this is my medal. So I don't know if you can, if that works, but yeah, it's quite a cool medal for a local race, and it tells you it's a 5k Dunstable relay race. Yeah, DRR 5k trail relay 2018. So yeah, always good to collect a medal at the end of a race, something to show for. And it was nice that Stopsy Striders Running Club actually paid for our entries, and they laid on water at the end and then loads of cakes. So that was good, and you just had to contribute towards the charity. And this year's charity for them was Parkinson's. So it's a good one to go to. So I'm not sure what the final donations were for the race, but they haven't put up the results yet. I did check before doing this video, but if I had waited, I probably wouldn't have got around to doing this video. So hopefully from next week, it will be 16 weeks until my next marathon. I don't know if I've told you yet, but I am going to do Loch Ness Marathon. That's the one I've decided to do. I think I mentioned on my last marathon that I really wanted to do another one because I could have put more into the race. So I did decide on Loch Ness Marathon, and that will be on the 23rd of September up in Inverness. But it's a point-to-point race, and it starts off in the Highlands, and then it's a general slope down, but it's going to be undulating or hilly at the start. So I don't think I will be able to PB because of the hills. As you know, as I just told you, I'm not really good at hills, but it's going to be a gorgeous route, gorgeous course. And I did speak to somebody on Instagram who did say that it wasn't as hilly as you expect it to be, and it's a beautiful course. So she sort of put my mind at rest a little bit, but you don't know until you run it, do you? Because people's perceptions of hilly and not hilly are very different. So I'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. I was able to book all the flights and hotel and obviously for the race before, well, I still had some money, so it's all go. So I think I'll just have to make sure I have more work by then. I'm hoping I'll be working by then. But yeah, so it's September the 23rd. So if you're going to be there, drop me a note down there. We could probably do a meetup or something. So I think I will start doing weekly updates again for the Loch Ness Marathon since I'm now at the 16-week stage. I have been doing a plan already. I started the plan when I booked it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm on to this week is the 5th week of that plan, but the serious work probably starts now at the 16-week stage. So you'll probably notice other people now starting their 16-week training plans for their autumn races. It's going to be hard work because it's so hot at the moment. It's 24 degrees, and I apologize I'm probably really sweaty, but it can't be helped. I'm sitting right in front of the sunshine. I should be out there. I think I'll go for a little walk before I start editing this, but I'm gonna make sure I edit this and post it up tonight, because if I don't, it won't go up, and I want it to be up there before I start recording for next week. As of next week, probably Sunday, I will be posting my weekly updates for the Loch Ness Marathon. Exciting times. Are you doing another marathon this year? If you are, please do let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.